There's one thing that instantly makes people respect you. And it's not what you say. It's what you don't say. Most people talk too much, explain too much, and chase too much. And that's exactly why they lose power in relationships. But the ones who know when to go silent, they control the entire dynamic. Why? Because silence makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to think about you, to wonder what you're thinking, and to feel your absence. And when used correctly, silence can make someone miss you, respect you, and even chase you. But here's the thing. Most people use silence the wrong way. They either go completely no contact, or they wait and hope for a reaction. That's not power. That's passivity. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use controlled silence to make people value you like never before. And by the end, you'll never have to beg for attention again. So stay with me, because this might be the most important lesson you ever learn. 1. Silence after rejection or disinterest. One of the hardest but most powerful Stoic lessons. Silence after rejection or disinterest. When someone pulls away, your instinct might be to fix it, to explain, to fight for their attention. But every word, every attempt to change their mind, only serves one purpose: to feed their ego while lowering your own value. Think about it. You've been talking to someone new, things seem promising, and suddenly they stop responding. Messages slow down, interest fades. What do most people do? Panic. They double text, try harder, or ask, "Did I do something wrong?" But here's the Stoic truth. You can't control others. You can only control how you respond. Chasing after someone who's lost interest signals one thing: I need your validation. And nothing destroys attraction faster than showing you rely on their approval to feel good about yourself. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So what do you do when someone loses interest? Nothing. No texts, no calls, no explanations. Just pull back. Silence feels counterintuitive, but it's the most powerful move you can make. Why? Because it stops feeding their ego. They were expecting you to chase, but now they're left in uncertainty. They start to wonder, why didn't they fight for me? Did I misjudge them? Did I make the wrong choice? And that doubt is powerful. But this isn't just about making them second guess. It's about protecting your dignity. Stoicism is about emotional resilience, the ability to remain unaffected by external events. If someone rejects you, that's not a reflection of your worth. It's just a reflection of their preferences, and those preferences can change. The moment you stop chasing, you flip the dynamic. 2. Let silence speak when they expect a reaction. Silence isn't just about stepping back after rejection, it's also about choosing when not to react. Imagine you're in an argument. Your partner says something hurtful, expecting you to lash out or defend yourself. Most people respond immediately because they feel the need to explain, correct, or win the argument. But what if you said nothing? What if you let them sit in the weight of their own words? This silence does two things. 1. It removes their power. They expected you to react, but now they're left wondering what you're thinking. 2. It forces them to reflect. Without your emotional response to fuel the fire, they start questioning their own behavior. In Stoicism, self-control is everything. The ability to remain calm when someone is trying to provoke you is the ultimate power move. It shows that you are in control of yourself, not them. 3. Use silence to make them miss you. One of the most powerful things about silence? It creates absence. People don't miss what's always available. They miss what's suddenly gone. Think about it. When have you ever missed someone who was constantly in your face, texting all the time, always available? You don't. You miss the people who created space, who left you wondering. When you pull back, they feel that void. Suddenly, they start thinking, why haven't they texted me? Did I do something wrong? Have they moved on? That curiosity creates tension, and tension creates attraction. Silence isn't passive, it's a deliberate move. You're giving them space to realize that your attention isn't guaranteed. And in a world where everyone is constantly trying to be heard, the person who knows when to be silent stands out. These are just the first 3 lessons, but there's so much more. If you want to master the full power of silence, stick around, because we're going to break down 4 more Stoic lessons that will change the way you handle relationships. But before we continue, take action. Hit the like button if you're ready to stop chasing and start attracting. Drop a comment saying silence is powerful if you're ready to shift the dynamic in your favor. Now, let's dive into the next lesson, using silence to set boundaries. Stay with me, because this is where everything starts to change. Use silence to set boundaries. Silence isn't just about making them miss you, it's about teaching them how to treat you. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships, they tolerate disrespect. They allow others to cross their boundaries, thinking that if they explain their feelings enough, the other person will change. But here's the hard truth. People don't respect words, they respect actions. Imagine someone is inconsistent with you. One day, they're affectionate, the next, they're cold. You bring it up, trying to communicate your frustration. But instead of changing, they keep doing it. Why? Because they know you'll stay, no matter how they treat you. But what happens when you stop explaining? What happens when you simply pull away? Suddenly they feel the consequence of their actions. You're no longer available on their terms. And that silence speaks louder than any words ever could. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Instead of arguing or begging for better treatment, you become silent. You detach, and that's when they realize they've lost access to you. Boundaries aren't about controlling others. They're about controlling yourself. If someone consistently disrespects your time, your effort, or your emotions, you don't need to explain. You simply step back. And here's the key. If they value you, they'll notice. And if they don't, you've just saved yourself from wasting more time. Number 5. Silence forces reflection. Ever notice how the most powerful moments in life aren't filled with words, but with silence? Think about the last time someone truly hurt you. Maybe they broke your trust. Maybe they walked away when you needed them most. Your instinct might have been to confront them, to make them understand what they did wrong. But did it ever really work? The truth is, people rarely change when you tell them to. They change when they realize it for themselves. And the fastest way to make someone reflect? Silence. When you stop reaching out, when you stop explaining, when you stop giving them access to you, they have no choice but to sit with their own thoughts. That's when guilt kicks in. That's when regret creeps up. That's when they start wondering if they made the wrong decision. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is say nothing at all. So instead of trying to make them understand, give them space to realize it on their own. And if they don't, then you have your answer. They were never truly invested in the first place. 6. Silence shifts the power dynamic. In any relationship, there's always a power balance. One person is usually chasing more, while the other is being pursued. But here's the thing. Power isn't about control. It's about value. The person who is always available, always explaining, always trying to fix things, they lower their perceived value. The person who knows when to step back, when to let go, when to allow silence to speak for them, they become the prize. This is why some people seem effortlessly attractive. It's not because they play games, it's because they understand one thing. Scarcity creates value. Imagine you're used to someone always being there for you. They text first, they check in, they make sure you're okay. You start expecting it. You stop appreciating it. But the moment they stop, the moment they go silent, you notice. You wonder where they are, what they're doing, why they're not reaching out. That's how the power shifts. And here's the key. This isn't about manipulation. It's about self-respect. You're not going silent to make someone chase you. You're doing it to stop chasing those who don't value you. Once you master this, you'll never have to beg for attention again. Because the moment you stop chasing, the right people will start chasing you. 7. The power of silence. Silence is not about punishing, waiting, or weakness. It's about reclaiming your value and shifting the dynamic. Because when you stop explaining, stop justifying, and start holding your ground, people respect you differently. They realize your time and energy aren't free. Now let me ask you, are you ready to let silence do the work? Like, if you're ready to use silence as your greatest asset, comment "Silence is power" if you're committed to shifting the dynamic. Subscribe because next, we're diving deeper into power, attraction, and self-respect. You don't attract what you chase, you attract what you embody. Become unforgettable. 4.